Hi everyone, I'm Bryn Schimmel and this is Community Action Now. Thank you for joining us today. We have with us Jill Connor again today from ENCAP, and then Amanda Parker, who is from the City of Bellevue Human Services Department. So we're going to talk a little bit to Amanda today about what she does, about her role in the community, but would you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. My name's Amanda Parker, and I am the Human Service Manager for the City of Bellevue. Primarily, I manage our specialized transportation service, which focuses on our disabled and elderly community and providing them weekly transportation to various things, whatever they need really. And then I also focus on hardship assistance.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. And how long have you been in this role with the city?
Well, I was part-time with the city for almost a full 11 years, and then I accepted the full-time position almost 3 years ago, so a total of just under 14 years.
All right, perfect. Yeah. So the City of Bellevue, you know, they have such a long history of being really community focused, yes, doing a lot of things for the city. So when we think about Sarpy County Holiday Assistance, which is coming up, which we're going to talk a lot about today, what all has the city been doing to help with holiday assistance all of these years? What are some of the things that you've done over the years to be involved with this event?
Well, the city has been, involved with the holiday assistance program it's been well over 30 years. We have so many collaborators, and we always talk about how long this program's been going on, and no one can pinpoint a time because there's always been somebody before them that's done it. So it's hard to tell how many years this has been going on, but the city's been involved for well over 30 years. And like I said, it is a collaboration, so each year a different agency or nonprofit or faith-based group kind of takes the reins and kind of leads the program. But everything's really delegated between toy drives or all the social media stuff that ENCAP does and making flyers.
Yeah.
So it's really a group effort.
Awesome. We are definitely going to talk about the toy drives. But before we do that, let's take it over to Jill and have her introduce herself and tell us how long you've been with ENCAP, what you do.
Sure. My name is Jill Connor. I am the Communications and Development Manager for ENCAP. I've been here about 4 years. I've been in the Community Action Network for about 14 years. My primary role is I get to do a little bit of everything, actually. It's writing grants, community outreach, digital communication through our website and social media, and then really getting out into the community and forming partnerships to try to see where we can meet up with partners on new initiatives.
Let's talk a little bit about then the people that we are partnering with this year for holiday assistance. I feel personally like there are a ton of things going on. A lot of people that we get to partner with this year for toy drives and such.
So related to toy drives alone, we have a large list of participants throughout the Sarpy County area, which has been so amazing because we can't do this work alone, and it's definitely a group effort. And I love this event because there are so many partners that come together one day so that families can come in and shop for their families for Christmas. So related to eligibility, it's any family in the community who might be seeking holiday assistance that has a child in the home under the age of 16. So all the things that we have going on, we've got toys, we have socks and pajamas and all kinds of things that are available for families to shop. And then at the end of the event, we have some wonderful volunteers who come through and actually wrap the gifts for all of the families so that, and then go outside and help them load them up. It's a really fun community event. So far this year, the groups that have come together to run some toy drives, we've got the Papillion Landing Center, the Bellevue Physical Therapy Center, Sarpy County Human Services always hosts a huge drive every year. Texas Roadhouse at Shadow Lake is doing a one-day event. Patriot Elementary School. And then we've also got the Papillion Community Foundation this year is also going to be collecting some things. Some more information will be coming out
Yes.
about that, and I believe they're wrapping that in with their Holiday Lights Festival on November 27th.
Yes,
So
yep.
make sure that you check out their Facebook page or their website for more information. It's just papillionfoundation.org.
And definitely keep an eye on ours as well. We'll be sharing as much as possible, as we get more information and as things kind of tighten up plan-wise. And then I did also want to mention the Texas Roadhouse at Shadow Lake. So that one-day toy drive, that is also in conjunction with a Bellevue Food Pantry fundraiser, like a cook's night out. So they asked if they could collect toys for us as well during the fundraiser. So we're really excited for that and to be working with all of these people. Some of them are new this year, and some of them are, long-time relationships. So we're very excited. I'm personally very excited. This will be my first holiday assistance with everyone, so I'm really excited for the event and to see how it goes. Now, if you are a family that is looking for assistance, how do you sign up to get assistance?
We have 3 different signups. Sorry if you were gonna go over
You're
the
good.
signups, but I think I've got.
You're good.
We've got the first one is on the 9th, and the second one.
November 9th.
Yes,
November
yes,
9th.
thank you.
Okay, yes.
They're all in November because the distribution is.
Early December.
Yep, it'll be early December. So the first one is November 9th, and the second one is November 13th, and then we've got another one on November 15th. And there's 2 of them that are in Bellevue, one that's in Papillion, so that gives you a couple different chances depending on where you live in Sarpy County to make sure that you partake. At the bottom of the flyer, there's also contact information, so if for whatever reason those dates don't work, feel free to give one of us a call and we will make sure that something happens for you.
Absolutely. Very good. So that's how you can sign up if you are looking for assistance this year. What about if you want to help in a different way? If you want to give financially, if you want to donate, how would you get involved with that?
So the committee put together this year, we have an Amazon wish list out there that people can shop, and things are directly shipped to the Bellevue Food Pantry
cool.
facility, so that, and then we'll take those over to Holiday Assistance on the day of the event. Or you can, if you'd like to contribute monetarily, so that we have enough funds to really get the things that we may not be getting in through toy drives and things like that. I know one thing that's always on the wish list is teen gifts. Gift certificates and things like that that may be difficult to fulfill through a drive. So there's an opportunity to give online at encapnebraska.org. Just click that donate button and then choose as the purpose Holiday Assistance, and those funds will all come back to this event.
Good. As you can see, we're very excited about this event. We have a lot of things happening during the holidays. We will have Thanksgiving distribution as well, so just keep an eye on all of our social media, on our websites for more information on that. And then, since we have time, let's mention the Holiday Lights in Bellevue this year, which ENCAP will get to be a part of. But why don't you tell us exactly what goes on at that event?
Well, it will be held on December 4th, and the main kickoff will be from 5 to 7 p.m., and it is at Washington Park there in Old Town Bellevue. There will be more information coming out about what's specifically more involved in that. We're just ironing out some last minute details, but I imagine by the end of the week that information will be out for the public.
Perfect. And I guess, really the most important question is Santa going to be there?
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and talking to me today and hanging out. We're super happy to have you here. Why don't we go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back with our next guest.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? The channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 and 1022 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaotvOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
KPAO Community Television, handmade in Omaha since 2013.
Welcome back to Community Action Now. Before the break, we were chatting with Jill, the Development Communications Manager for ENCAP, and with Amanda Parker from the City of Bellevue about some of the things that we have coming up, specifically Sarpy County Holiday Assistance. And now we are joined by ENCAP's Executive Director, Aaron Bowen.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we're so happy that you're here. We're really excited to just talk about all things community action. So ENCAP specifically, let's talk about that first. ENCAP has been serving this community for quite a few years now, since 1965. Share a little bit more about how community action works, just to make a difference in their service areas.
So there are a few major principles that we follow. Our goal is to be responsive, number one. So everything that we do is based on a pretty comprehensive needs assessment, so we know what resources are available in Douglas and Sarpy County, what community needs are there, and then we decide, we have kind of a menu of choices that all community action agencies choose from to say, what are the outcomes or the changes we're going to achieve in our community? And so we're constantly looking at things at a few different levels. At the family level, how we're going to help them stabilize and build economic security. At the community level, so how can our communities be healthy and offer opportunity? And then really looking at the agency level as well, how do we increase our capacity to achieve results? Because as with every nonprofit, we have limited funding, limited staff, so how do we maximize what we do? And then ultimately we have a responsibility to the community to really transform the community and help create opportunities and engage the people that we serve, which is one of the primary tenets of community action, is to involve the people we serve, so it's not just doing things for people or to people. We really do things with the community and designing our programs and services and evaluating what we do.
Yeah. And ENCAP serves Sarpy and Douglas County. There are several other agencies throughout the state of Nebraska. And then as well, I think Jill mentioned the last time, community action agencies in the country cover about 94% of the counties in the country.
We're usually pretty jealous of the community action agencies in Hawaii and Puerto Rico, but we love being here in Nebraska. We're one of 9 agencies in Nebraska, so each one of us has a designated service area. So ours, of course, is Douglas and Sarpy County. Jill and I both spent a number of years, about a decade, at the one in Lincoln, serving Lancaster and Saunders. But we really have to balance. Nebraska is we live and work in the most urban area, but we still have rural areas. So we have a constant balance of how do we spread ourselves out without spreading ourselves too thin to make sure that we meet the needs of communities like Valley or Bellevue or Springfield, while still focusing on where we're at in North Omaha, South Omaha, et cetera. So it's a constant kind of balance and renegotiation of where we put our people and our resources to have the biggest impact.
Yeah. And how has it been the last year and a half, 2 years now as a nonprofit, kind of navigating through the pandemic?
Yeah, we've all, I think, personally and professionally been impacted by the pandemic. And so we as an agency, as with all of community action, really had to pivot what we were doing in the past year and a half. So at first it was just crisis response. We were all going through, what are we going to do?
Right, the immediate.
And then it was figuring out how do we shift our services to make sure that we maintain connections with our clients, that we get them the services they need while still keeping staff and our clients safe, and then thinking about the bigger picture of, we thought, I think initially this will be a few months, and then it was a year, and now we're still not out of it. And so just making sure that we have the infrastructure and the policies that help our staff know what does today look like, because we've experienced natural disaster, we've experienced government shutdowns. This was a new one for us, and so it's really, I think we've become stronger and are seen now even more so as an essential services provider. But it's been a challenge, but I think it adjusted well. So,
what would you say are some of the greatest accomplishments of the agency throughout the last year or so with the pandemic?
I think surviving, number one, is what we've done with giving each other grace and with good humor. I think internally, pivoting our staff to working remotely and helping them balance. We all have pets and kids and stuff at home that we've had to figure out how to work remotely and still get the work done.
Yes.
How to be closed to the agency in some cases, but with the Bellevue Food Pantry, remaining open and still getting people the food they need. And so I think major accomplishments, I would say, we distributed last year close to $440,000 in emergency rent and utility assistance. So that came from two portions. So we received some CARES Act funding because we're a community action agency. And so we spent that on rent, utility, child care, transportation expenses, really anything that a family needed. And we saw so many families and individuals for the first time because they hadn't needed to ask for that help before.
Right.
And then the metro area of Continuum of Care for the Homeless really has done a remarkable job in distributing funds to agencies like ours so we can prevent eviction ultimately and keep people housed. And so I can't say enough about our support services team, which is that team that gets that initial crisis call and figures out, okay, what information do we need to collect and what's the assistance we're going to offer that helps this family at least put a cork in that leak so they can try to start building stability, because ultimately our goal is to connect with them and build that relationship and stay with them and not just do one-time assistance.
Right.
But in the past year and a half, we've done anything we can just to get them. Let's keep the kids in school, let's keep them safe, let's keep them fed, let's keep them housed.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I would say, transportation we have a really growing transportation program, which is unique to ENCAP.
Yeah.
But with the school shutdown, it also shut down our buses. And so we had to figure out, okay, how are we going to pivot and use our buses to meet community needs? And so we had a unique opportunity in partnership with Douglas County Community Response to begin food delivery, so door-to-door food delivery for families who it was either too much or too unsafe to come out to a pantry and wait in line.
Yeah.
And so we started with about 30 deliveries per week last summer, and now we're at about 120 deliveries per week.
Yeah, those drivers are always running.
Yes, got their bags of food. We've got new leadership, so we're trying to be more intentional about the food that we offer so families can do something with it, make something.
Right.
And then we just launched food delivery services through the Bellevue Food Pantry here recently. And so that, I think, is going to be a growing program because even without a pandemic, asking families to take time out of work or after school and lug the kids down, or if you're a senior, get in the car and come out in the cold.
Right, or if you don't have transportation.
That's right, which is a huge need in our community,
Yeah.
to get that food to them. So I think that creation of that program, I think doing some more work with unconnected young adults who have aged out of the foster care system. We've got a wonderful program partner in Project Everlast Omaha. So we've started that program slowly, and we hope to expand that in the next year or two. And then I think just working with program partners in general, like I said, I think we've really been seen as an essential services provider, and we can't say enough about the donor community, volunteers. I mean, you give me a list of donors every day that I get to thank.
Yep.
People have come out of the woodwork to support what we do, and so that's given us hope that as we move into the future in at some point, a post-pandemic world, we'll be able to keep these programs that we're operating. But it's really, we get stronger every time we get tested, and the pandemic certainly tested us all.
Yep.
But I think the team is ready for hopefully the next phase when we're going to do some new things. So.
Yeah, we've really had just an incredible amount of support this year with, from other companies, from individuals, with partners that we've been working with. So it's been really, really amazing to see all of it. Now, if I wanted to get involved with ENCAP, if I wanted to donate, if I wanted to volunteer or support you in any way, what would I do if I wanted to do that?
Okay, well, I always tell people, check out ENCAP Nebraska on Facebook to follow us on social media and see all the great things we're doing and all the content that Bryn and Jill are sharing. And encapnebraska.org is where you can go learn about us, but you can also donate to support what we do. You'll hear us say that again and again. We cannot do this work without the community, and any donation of an hour of time, $1 on up makes a difference and helps us grow the work that we do. Also, if you want us to come talk to, your civic group, your church group, Jill, Bryn, and I are always available to come out and talk with you. We've lived via Zoom the last year and a half, so we are well versed in having a Zoom meeting as well, if that's the way you want to do it. So just reach out and learn about community action, because we don't want to be the best kept secret. We are serving thousands of people every year, tens of thousands of services in our communities, and so we want to connect with you and help you learn about community action, how you can get involved. So.
And it's very evident as you talk how passionate you are about community action. And as an executive director, and all of the people that you work with, all the partners that you work with, what are some specific reasons that you are passionate about community action. I mean, you've been in it for a long time.
Yep.
It's evident when you talk about it, but give us some specific examples.
Sure. I'm, as everyone knows at work, I'm a nerd for the history of community action. But community action was born out of, one of the most, volatile and changing conditions in America's history in the mid-'60s. And so there's a legacy we have that's connected to the civil rights movement, connected to voting rights, that we have a responsibility to the communities we serve and listening to the communities we serve. And so when we come to work each day, and I tell staff this a lot, is that you're here because of the people that came before us, and we're not all going to be in community action forever. So we're also adding to that legacy and continuing on that work, because we have survived since 1965, and we're listening to some legislative testimony this morning. We're still going strong and we still have room to grow, but great stories to tell, and there's no other poverty network like ours nationwide. And a lot of our agencies house things like Head Start, weatherization. We operate food pantries, we offer health clinics. It runs the gamut. There's thousands of types of services that we offer as a network, and I think that's
Right.
unique. And so we have a responsibility to do our best work. And part of the requirement of the funding we receive is to show results. And so, unlike, just counting if it's boxes of food or if it's youth, served, all those are important. We have to show changes. And so
Right.
we're after, do families reach stability? Are families reducing public assistance? It's not only just the food pantry, it's can we fight food insecurity, and then think about the systems at play that put people in that position.
Right,
Because,
it's not a one and done.
yeah, we know about this, we've read about this. Poverty for most people is a temporary condition. So, especially during the pandemic, so many people came through that had never had to ask for help before.
Right.
So many of our families are working families.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you see on the news stories of, fraudulent activity with SNAP benefits or people taking advantage of the system. Those are a rarity. It's hard enough for any of us to ask for help, and some of our clients are the most courageous people that we work with, because
Absolutely.
they're in the thick of it, having to make choices of, do I put gas in the car or food on the table?
Right.
Can I get to that wellness appointment when I have to get to my job? So we want to have that conversation and just really work on that long-term change with them, so they get to change the trajectory of our lives, and hopefully we can help them on that journey. So.
Yeah. Well, we know how committed you are to your job, but tell us a little bit about your family, things that you do outside of work. We talked a little bit about Zooming from home earlier, and babies and kids and pets being involved in that.
Yeah.
Everybody once in a while has a little one running through the background, and you have that at your house.
I do. My wife is also a director of she's a director of a statewide nonprofit, so we talk a lot of shop at home, but with a preteen and a kindergartner and a 4-month-old, they keep us busy at swim meets, dance, diapers, the whole thing. But I've spent most of my life in Nebraska, and this is my best time of year, so I love the fall and enjoying just the weather and seeing the seasons change. So it's been an adjustment for us all, but
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see the beginnings of what it's going to look like on the other end of the pandemic, and we're excited. But in community action, we're always braced for the next unpredictable thing that happens
Right.
for us. So, but again,
Do you guys get outside during the fall as a family?
we try to. We have a dog that keeps us very busy.
All right. So it's not always shop talk. Hopefully you guys can.
No, we try not to so
Right,
much.
right.
But I think what we tell staff at work is that in order to do your best work, you've got to have all your family stuff taken care of, because that is first. And so
Right.
trying to still stay busy and get all of our stuff done as an agency, but prioritizing the things that are most important. So that family time, pets, just respite, because when you're at work, it's intense. There's
Right.
nothing like community action. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, Aaron. We're so happy to have you. And to Amanda with the City of Bellevue, and also with Jill. We love having you guys here. We love learning more about community action and what's going on. So thank you for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next month. We'll be talking about all the holiday things happening in December. And together we hope to continue helping keep our community fed, housed, and safe. Thank you guys. We will see you next time.
Thanks, Bryn.